So today we are going to learn about the 10 must-know Linux terminal commands. Now the Linux terminal is a way to talk to your computer, which includes the operating system and the hard disk and other peripherals through text. Now in the olden days, when the computers were still new, this would be the only way in which you can communicate with the computer. You didn't really have cool graphics where you could click on icons and launch stuff. This was the only way you could use the computer. So we're going to learn some basic commands that will be useful for you to navigate, and this is an essential toolkit in the bag of a programmer to get stuff done. You can do some really cool stuff using the terminal. So let's get introduced to it. The first command we're going to learn is to do with where we are in the computer, right? To understand where we stand right now so that we can move around. Now the first command is called pwd, and this is short for present working directory. This lets you know where you are. So I am in my hard disk within a folder called home, and inside that there's a folder called wonks no suchin, and that's where I am right now. Another thing you can do is use ls, which is short for list, to list the contents of the directory. And as you can see here, all I have is one folder called new folder. The next command we are going to learn is the cd command, which is change directory. Now this is useful to move in and out of directories. Now just to take an example, you see that we have a folder called new folder in the current directory that we are in. So I can say cd, which is short for change directory, new, and a cool thing that you can do is you can hit tab to autocomplete. And you see the slash at the end, that means that it's a folder, and if you hit enter, you can see now it shows you that you are inside new folder. You can run the same commands here, which is pwd. It tells you that you're in new folder. You can also do an ls to see it contains a file called file.txt. And you can also do cd space ... to go out of the directory. The next command is for us to know how to make a directory, and it's again very literal. It's called mkdir, which is short for make directory, and then you can give it a name so that it'll make a directory of that name. So it's a new directory. Now I can do ls to see, and then I do see a folder called new directory in there. I can cd into it, and when I hit tab, it only completes as far as new underscore, because there are two such directories here. I can type in d and hit tab again, and it lets me go into new directory. I can also cd out of it, and another command for me to delete it would be rmdir, and I can say new directory. When I do ls, it's not there anymore. To create an empty file, we can use the touch command in Linux. And the way you write it is say touch, and you can say new underscore file dot py in case you're writing a Python program, or you could name it as txt as well. And you can just hit enter. It doesn't say anything, but when you do an ls, you will see a file named new file.txt. Alright, so you can also quickly clear the entire terminal by typing in clear. The next thing that we will learn how to do is to move or rename a file. And both of these can be done using the same command, which is mv, which is short for move. So if you wanted to move a file, you could do mv, and we have a file called newfile.txt, and you could move it into the folder new folder by saying new mv new file.txt new folder.txt and hit enter. Now if you do an ls, you don't see anything over here, but you can cd into new folder and do an ls to see that there is new file.txt there. You can also now rename the file by just saying mv new file.txt to old file.txt. Now if you do an ls, you will be able to see the renamed file. Another useful command is cp, which is short for copy, to copy a file from one place to another. So So you can simply use it just like the move command and say cp, and we will move old file and we will move it to the previous directory. So I will say dot dot slash dot dot means the previous directory, and let's see what happens. So right now old file is still here. I go cd dot dot to go back to the previous folder, and I do an ls, and old file is here as well. Now to delete a file, all you need to do is rm, which is very similar to the rmdir you did for directories, and you can say rm and the file's name and hit enter, and you will see that it's gone. Now echo and cat are useful commands to be able to write into a file from the command line. So you can, for example, say echo, and you can say hello, and then put it into a text file using the greater than symbol, saying hello.txt. If you do ls, what you will see is there is a new file that has been created right there, and the contents of it can be displayed on the terminal using cat, and you can say cat hello.txt, hit enter. You see that the contents of the hello.txt file are just hello. You can also append to this file by using a double greater than symbol and say echo hello again, and you can do a double greater than and say hello.txt, and when you do a cat hello.txt, you will see hello and hello again. If you were to do only a single greater than and do this again, it would overwrite the contents of the file. Now this is a very cool command to know about the different network interfaces in the computer, and we'll start off by just clearing the screen, and then you can just type in IP space address, and it will give you a list of all the interfaces on your computer and their corresponding IP addresses and MAC addresses, and you can use this to even connect to your Raspberry Pi and stuff like that. So those were the 10 most useful Linux commands that you must know if you're a developer. Stay tuned for more content from youngmonks.com.